What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Retro Matador channel, where you are joining us on the Heat Council, where we're going to be talking about all things wrestling and landscape, mostly WWE. We don't really follow the other stuff too much, but if it comes with something interesting, we'll talk about it. So we're here. I'm Matador Gabe, and there's my boy. He's here. Retro Detro. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, man. It has been a while. I am back while I can be. So, let's get into it. Mania 42 happened this past weekend and Raw happened. So there's a lot of ground to cover that we kind of want to go over. Where do you kind of want to start with it, Matador?
Yeah, awesome. Glad to have you back. And the correct answer was forever. All right. So we're going to talk about WrestleMania 42 first. Just going to touch on it. There was a lot of discussion over both nights. Yeah, after watching night one, I was afraid that this was going to be a very non-memorable WrestleMania because it just wasn't hitting night one. There were some good matches, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't feeling it, and it feels like that's what the majority of people online were saying too. It's not just me saying it. Sports Illustrated saying it. Night one was
Bleacher Report said it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with night one not being, I would say, optimal. I feel like they used it more for ads. Everything was about 5 to 14 minutes tops. The good stuff we did get, even though the matches were small, I would say like I Show Speed. He actually did really well in the match. Things that didn't work in that 6-man tag team match is the Usos. They did terrible. They botched moves. It is what it is. LA Knight did okay. What else? Other than that of night one, what else do you really remember?
The only good part of night one to me was Randy and Cody, their match, and it's
hard.
Yeah, it's hard to even say that because just for me, a wrestling fan, I like for the wrestlers to tell the story in a way that makes sense with the audience as well, and the audience just wasn't going for what WWE was trying to give you. Like, they really wanted Cody to be the heel and Randy to be the baby face, and neither one's really a heel like up to this point. And the reason they're booing Cody is because they're really bored with the way that he's being presented. And I understand that he still does great work. He was phenomenal. Him and Randy had an amazing chemistry in the ring. It's just that where I was popping, the crowd was like, boo. Like, the things that I liked seeing, the crowd was just not in it. And I don't know if it's just a Vegas crowd or if that's just what we were going to expect. But I felt like when that happens, it's up to the wrestlers to decide to call an audible and change it up and say, all right, we're going to go in this direction. Even if it's just for tonight, we're going to do this way. And I mean, they tried to have Pat McAfee come out and be the heel, and he ended up being the only part that everybody universally hated. Like me at home, and then the people online as well were just and in the crowd were just like, we want to see that fool get murked. And then you've been trying so hard to get Randy heat, only for Randy to be the one that eventually takes him out. And then it's like, okay, now everybody's cheering for Randy again when that's not what we were trying to do. But, it was a good match. I don't know. I felt like
it felt heartless to me. Like, I get what you mean, but it felt like night one was everything had to be rushed. So a lot of those storylines were rushed. I mean, SmackDown hasn't been great in the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe. So it was rushed. The whole Pat McAfee thing was very sideways. And then just the Gunther and Seth Rollins match was good, but then you had a terrible spear with Braun, even though I'm excited Braun's back. It was low tier. But night two started off with a bang. Oba versus Brock. Sure. Oba squashing the beast incarnate.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, everybody's doing the damn strat. That's the new I'm in this bitch fucking mode. Dude, that was everything that should have been. Yes, it was short, but they're supposed to be short. They're two big, colossal monsters that are not going to have a 30-minute match. The whole point is like, first one to get a knockout is about to win this. Like, it's like a heavyweight match, right? And I think they delivered that. And with all the hype, with everything, that's what I said, man. Like, they should have just went and made that the main event of night one. It would have been a different feel to top off the night one with that. And it's crazy because we did have championship matches on night one, and I didn't even talk about it. It's Liv and what do you call it? And that was the most hyped thing, and their match was short. But you can have a short match when it's appropriate. When they need to tell a story that's longer, they need to have more time. But these guys didn't need that. These guys came out. It was full on aura from the jump, and they did it. And then for us to get surprised with Brock Lesnar basically hanging up his boots and saying this was my last one. Like, as a fan, I've come to like the place where Brock Lesnar kind of lives in a pocket where I'm like, I don't really want to see him so much because I got tired of him and I got upset that he had to beat the Undertaker streak, and he always is this just monster that always wins. Like, I got tired of that. But undoubtedly, he's the most athletic, most gifted human to ever be in the ring, and he's a big part of my childhood. So when that fool busted out in tears, like, I had started swelling up from emotions too.
Yeah, no, bye. He's a Black Championship destroyer. Get out of here. Now time for the conqueror, the ruler, Oba Femi. Yeah. Bye, PP boy. Okay.
Yeah, all of those things are true. All those things are true. I mean, allegations anyway. I feel it. That's the energy that we have to have. He's suspiciously always been in place to dethrone the Black champion. So now we have, it's only fitting that the next beast is Black, and it goes to show that he wasn't worried about that stuff. That's just the way that they booked him.
We're not going to call Oba the beast, sir. We're going to call him the Conqueror. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's that character is all I'm saying. The torch has been passed. The torch has been passed.
Yeah, but not just for Oba that whole night. You had Javon Evans, you had Truck Williams. It was a real big night for a lot of Black wrestlers. So WrestleMania 42 definitely felt, and from me, I felt it was a lot geared towards not just Black folks, but also Hispanic cultures, with Penta winning the ladder match. And the ladder match itself had everybody in here. JD McDonough, you had Rusev. So you have all these different cultures and styles of wrestling. Javon Evans, styles of wrestling clashing in a ladder match, which was, so, that ladder match is really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
It doesn't top 41's, WrestleMania 41's ladder match, but it was very interesting and it got the crowd going. Right. It was a crowd pleasing.
Oh, that was a very hype match. That was the most exciting thing. Well, I mean, Brock Lesnar and Oba was the most exciting thing, right? It happened right before. But usually when something like that happens, there's like this lull, and that didn't happen. They came out and they killed it, and that match was freaking amazing. And to say that match, that match was so good, it was better than everything on night one. The ladder match.
Yeah, 100%. The first two matches I knew, I was like, oh, this is insane.
This is night and day now. Yeah, we're playing in a different game. And I mean, the rest of the matches were really good as well. We had Finn Balor as the Beast. I mean, that match wasn't like my favorite, but it was. The entrance for this fool is just insanely good. He's so cool. It was amazing. He's so cool. There's so much aura.
Adonis was better. King of the Luchadors. Adonis was better. He had all the luchadors walking with his mask, and he get on top of the ring, took his mask off and threw it at Michael Cole with so much disrespect.
Yeah, it's really good. I think maybe it's hard to invest in the match so much because you already know like the demon Finn Balor is about to just murk him. So you already kind of like, there's no, like, I don't think he could actually lose like that. It's interesting to see how Finn Balor wrestles.
I find it suspicious how Adam Pearce decides the day of WrestleMania to turn into a street fight. So
there's a lot of suspicious things on this card that I don't know. I feel like
maybe somebody has it out for Dirty Dom. He's over in AAA. But what's going on over here?
That's true. That's true.
Boy back.
He's the new leader of the Judgment Day. So we'll see Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm pro Hill, baby.
Hey, I like that. I like that's why we're the Heat Council. Let's go. Man.
But also, other matches, quick shouts to some other matches because, we want to get to Raw. But I do want to give a shout to Rhea and Jade. Like, we knew Rhea was going to win ultimately, but I want to give the shout out to Jade because I feel personally like, yeah, she lacked in some areas. A few months ago with wrestling, but I think she's grown into her own in this like heel Jade and like leaning into the money factor and that saying that I'm better than you, but also she's getting better. And she like went round for round with Rhea and gave her a great match. I give her flowers, man. I can't really say much about that match. That match had my house excited. Everybody was screaming and jumping and booing and chanting. And so it was
Yeah, I
great.
think outside of her not winning, I mean, I think she had an incredible night. I think that match really it's so weird. Again, like a contrast, it's like I was way more hyped for Liv and Stephanie Bachar coming into it, and they limited the amount of time and TV time like leading up to it. Like it just felt like they were just like, who cares? Who cares? Just do a quick thing. Just do a quick thing. Quick spot. Quick spot. And then they kept throwing Rhea and Jade like in our faces so much that they were even on Raw when they're not supposed to be. Like it was just like this is gonna be hype, and I just wasn't even feeling it. I couldn't. I knew that the match could be good, but I just wasn't excited for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they blew me away. It was a really good match. They're a great like matchup. Their chemistry is really good, and Jade definitely looked like she came into her own. So all the things she needed to learn coming over from AEW that she didn't know to be a wrestler in WWE, like I think she definitely has figured it out, and that makes her extra special because she's got the look, she's got the power, and she's got the skills that it looks like right now. So I mean, I don't think she's not going to be champion for a while. She's going to get a belt pretty quick.
Yeah, she'll get the belt back for sure. Trick Williams. Trick motherfucking Williams. Whoop that trick.
Whoop that
That's
trick.
what we talking about.
Whoop that
Trick Williams won the United States Championship from Sami Zayn, Gingerbread Man. I've been saying for a while, I have been getting tired of Sami Zayn and his gimmick. I have no hate towards Sami Zayn. I think outside of his character, again, we have to respect our wrestlers. His character's his gimmick, the underdog, and he's become Scrappy Doo to me. Okay.
Scrappy
and
Doo.
let me at him. Okay. I'm tired of it. Sammy, let it go. Let's figure something out. But let's get to what we're going to talk about it for a little bit because we want to get to the ultimate buildup. I know you've been itching to get to this part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the main event of WrestleMania 42.
Yes, the main event, WrestleMania 42. I was so excited for this match. This is like a dream match for me. Like in the making, like CM Punk was the best in the world. Then he left, and everybody knows the story by now. But like for me, he was my favorite, and to be deprived of him year after year, and always like maybe he's coming back, like this hope, this idea, and all of that happened, and to finally kind of be like, nah, that's a pipe dream. He's never coming back, and then we get Roman, and Roman's been there since he left, but Roman was always like, it just wasn't my cup of tea. I was one of those fans that was like, I see what y'all are doing and I don't like it. Like, I don't like what he's doing. I don't like his character work. I feel like he's overrated. There's better wrestlers and y'all are still doing the thing where it's like there's better characters, but y'all are choosing your guy and saying this is him and this is who it's going to be, and I don't feel it. And then at one point I was just like, you know what? They just need to take that fucking vest off of him, rip that shit off, and then he could come out looking like a man, and then maybe like he could start to do some stuff. And then, Roman got leukemia, which was really sad, which is a real, situation. And it brings us back to like, let's get out of the characters for a minute. I appreciate the wrestler Roman Reigns and everything that he puts in and all this stuff. So it was a natural, like, yes, like, okay, I have a reason to cheer for you, and I hope you beat that. And then he comes back, and it's not very long after he comes back that he shows that he's with Paul Heyman. And then once he's with Paul Heyman, then there's this new persona that's starting to come out. And then he's the tribal chief. And then he starts to tell people to acknowledge him. And then literally he built this aura to where he did it. He turned heel. He finally did what I wanted, but he's so fucking cool. He's so good. And I was just tribal chief. I acknowledge you. Number one, like his whole run with the bloodline, that was the most amazing thing I've seen in a long time. And he earned a spot on the freaking Mount Rushmore. He was so good in it. It was so good that I was like, I can't wait for somebody to come along and finally beat him, right? Like, because they're going to have a good story. And I thought that it would be CM Punk, maybe, outside chance. That would be the best matchup that I could see. But then Cody came. And then Cody naturally built himself up to it, and I was with it. I was like, it's gonna be Cody. He won me over, and I was happy. And I'm glad we got that story. But now looking back, we have CM Punk. We get to face off against Roman Reigns. The only thing that I say that would have made this better than it is, and I already think, without saying anything else, this is one of my favorite WrestleMania main events of all time, is that this would have been the height of Roman Reigns. Like if Roman Reigns was the tribal chief, like ultimate aura that had not lost yet, and CM Punk had to face that, this probably would have people would probably still be talking about it for like 20 years from now. Like, it's insane, the level. But without that, with Roman being gone and Roman barely coming back, regaining his aura, and then CM Punk having built up the resume since he's returned to WWE with like the best run of any wrestler. I can't name somebody who's had a better like run of matches. Like his matches have been consistently excellent since he's been back. Every single one. Drew McIntyre, with Cody, with Seth Rollins, all these matches, amazing.
Yeah. I mean, just like you were saying, like I think it's the main event was excellent. Like they put their bodies on the line, they made it personal, so every hit, every lick counted. I mean, like Roman gave it his all, and I know it hurts for Punk to, have to give it up, but there's other things, other goals and other things that he can do, as they hinted in Raw with Cody Rhodes and the Undisputed. But like you said, sometimes you got to take yourself out of this is just entertainment and take a step back and respect the wrestlers as people. And, we always discuss this together. And when someone can go out there and like put their body on the line and for entertainment purposes, is you just have to commend them on it. Right. But I mean, man, I wish I just had a recording of how the kids and everybody were interacting, for one, during the entire second night of Mania, but just that match, everybody was who was on CM Punk side, and we have the belt, and my son's a huge CM Punk fan, and Roman wins. He's, as a real champion does, he took the belt off and he gave it to the Roman fans and let him hold the belt up, and he held his ones up for Roman, and that's what it's all about, though. Like WrestleMania is all about telling these good stories, spending that time with your family, with your kids, having these stories that sometimes they don't pan out. Like night one, like it sucked, but the stories didn't pan out. That's not when writing. Sometimes that's how that happens.
Right. You can't predict
like you
everything.
Said, like you said, like the I did want to hit this before we, the Danhausen curse.
Oh yeah.
His curse set up the whole 6-man tag team match with, I Show Speed. And like you said, he wasn't at night one, but they did save Danhausen for night two with John Cena, which I think was the funniest bit. Well, there was only one funny bit, but I think that genuinely, the comedic timing, the writing of Danhausen,
Right.
and all of that, that was perfect. It was not a nice comedic break right before we saw this brutal match between CM Punk and
Right.
Roman
Right.
Reigns. That
It
was a
was a
great,
great palate cleanser for sure.
yeah,
And then
yeah. It
we
was,
go right from him, and so like, dude, like from the jump, their aura was insane. Like Roman comes out with like that freaking just like this is the tribal chief again. He came out with his OG tribal chief song one, so he knew it was gonna be over with. I was feeling bad for my boy CM Punk already at that moment. I was like, there's no way Roman loses. This is that guy, the one that I put my hand up in the air. Yeah, I don't care, even though CM Punk's my favorite. I know this Roman's coming to fucking win, and this he chiseled everything.
I was gonna say, I knew Punk was done when he came out. It was like a moment of silence. I was like, oh.
It's gonna be over with. No, but Punk coming out, dude, like I know you're like more fresh into wrestling, right? Over the past few years, but the song that he came out to was Miseria Cantera, which is from AFI, right? Well, that was his old Ring of Honor theme song that he would
Yeah.
come out to. So for him to come out at WrestleMania in the main event, showing off his like first peak in the indies, like he is that guy. Like there was a lot of aura there that I think that new fans and fans that are not like super knowledgeable didn't understand. And then, like you said, the match itself, I mean, it was amazing, bell to bell. I don't know, man. Like I said, I put it up there. For me, there's probably only one definitively better WrestleMania main event, and that's Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. That's the greatest match ever.
Now that does lead us into Raw, because with Roman back playing the OTC original song, he's showing up on Raw. We're just gonna dive into the meat and potatoes of Raw.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
To really what we're gonna dive to the end segment where Roman comes out and basically tells everybody the bloodline is back with the Usos. All right. Acknowledge him. The Usos, they give his ones. Right.
Yeah.
And then you hear, ha! You know what it is then.
Oy.
Take ha! Two!
Man.
Drums hit. And so, how do you feel about now? You have the bloodline back. You got the head of the table, you got the Usos. With the reason why I had Sammy brought up is because what we saw with him against Trick Williams, he was using dirty moves and things like that. So do you think, since the bloodline's back, is Sammy gonna come with the bloodline? And how do you also feel about Jacob Fatu going against his family, going against the bloodline in this moment?
I think that all of that makes sense. I think that Jacob Fatu that's his trajectory, is to actually join the bloodline too. So Roman is here. He's announced that he's gonna be here all the way to the summertime at minimum. So that means all the way to SummerSlam. We're gonna see him every week as the champion. That's what we're supposed to see, which is gonna bring us a lot of time to build up story. And I just think that here we are. Thanos is gathering the Infinity Stones. And that's what we're seeing right now. And so he got the two easy ones, the Usos, right away. Boom, y'all right there waiting to say what's up. We ain't never really lost each other. You know what I mean? We've already been messing with each other. So bloodline, let's just run it back. Yeah. Then you got Fatu is the perfect place for Roman to start taking over the chessboard and saying, you know what, that piece right there, I wouldn't even call him for it. I'm the tribal chief. He came to me. He's coming to me.
Yeah.
He's going to challenge me because in the wild, alphas got to challenge the alphas. But what happens when the real one wins? Hey, you bow down, right? Exactly. And he told him that everybody's behind Jacob. It's like we want to see him beat Roman. Like, I was very surprised that them face to face, they cheered for Fatu as hard as they did. I don't know about Sammy because it worked the first time because it was like a real funny thing, but that came like after Roman had built up the aura for the bloodline so high that it was like, okay, they can't just keep on being like the most hardcore, like the baddest group on the planet. They needed a little bit of like lightness to come in to really get you fully encompassed, and I think that Sammy did that. I don't know that they need that this time. They have the fucking comedian Jey Uso. They don't need Sammy to be that. They just go get him to run it back because that's all he wants to do. So I don't think.
I mean, but you don't really need Sammy either because you have Solo Sikoa and the MFT, so Roman could go infest their group and infect SmackDown with his nonsense and just invade both shows and be everywhere. And that's why I said we were talking about it kind of off camera that, you're like, oh, well, I don't know if they're necessarily villains or not, but I mean, why not? Why not run it back and take everything? Take what is, what he says is theirs. Like, make the Usos get the belts back. Make Nia get the belt at SmackDown. He comes, like he's controlling the show. And then you have this faction, a good faction, not the Vision.
Yeah, not the Vision. That's.
But you have a faction of like well-rounded wrestlers that can come in, and then you build your survival, your Survivor Series. You build those, or your War Games. I mean, I'm sorry, and you build that, and you got your faction versus the Bloodline, and you get your run back to that. But this time, the faction needs to be better. You need some cool people, bro. Some very cool people.
You already know. What you're asking for is you're just gonna get a team up of LA Knight and whoever. That's what you're asking for, because that's what they're gonna give us. They're gonna just give us a team.
Well, LA Knight did save his job. He did save his job at WrestleMania. He did not fall and he did not botch.
Yeah, hey, I love LA Knight. I hope that this iteration of the Bloodline is quick and to the point. I hope that this is not like, all right, let's do the Bloodline for 3 years. Like, I don't need that. I don't even need it for the whole year. Let's take it to SummerSlam. Get to SummerSlam, and I'm asking for it because at this point, that's what I want to see. I didn't want to see it when they tried to give it to me because it wasn't the thing that I wanted to see at that point. Hopefully, The Rock can come out at SummerSlam, and then he can basically
because you're gonna be mad, and then you're gonna complain and be like,
"Yes, I am.
He ruins everything.
Yes, I am.
He always ruins the show, bro."
But I don't want to hear that storyline that it needs to happen. Like we already saw the dominant run Bloodline. There's not that many heels that Roman's going to be able to go against, or even baby faces that stand out against his group. So it has to be something bigger than that for him. And I think that's the natural progression, especially if you're going to take CM Punk out of the equation where he's not even going to mess with Roman. I just feel like that's where I would go, because you're going to build up the Bloodline, but for what? Like, who's going to face them? Not Cody again. Nobody wants to see that a third time. We don't want to see that again. And who?
Only option I see is Oba Femi, but I don't want them to do that immediately either. But I know Roman said up until summer, so we don't know how long he's going to be here. But build the Oba Femi story out. Have Oba throw the twins out the ring. Roman come Superman punch him, knocking the Oba down. Something cool like that. But I don't know. Like, we'll see next Monday. I told you how I felt about it. I was like,
yeah,
so soon. But I'm excited. Like you said, like, it's episode 1. We're back on the road, back to Mania.
Well, I think it's a good point to wrap up. I think it's really fun that we can get together and talk about wrestling. We basically do every day anyway. So now we're just putting it in front of other people so that way they can chime in. And if you want to chime in and you have something that you want to talk about, or you don't agree with something we're saying, or you agree and you just want to give us all the love in the world, then just agree and come tell us and let us know in the comments what you thought, as well as our other stuff when we talk about films and things like that. I mean, the biggest comeback of the week, it isn't the people you've been missing wrestling. It is Retro Detro to our show. We're so happy to have you. I feel like I was so alone. Now I'm not. If you want, you can get up and dance too. I mean, you know how. So
I will not be doing that. But alrighty, well, thanks everybody for joining us. It has been a fun ride, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
If you enjoyed this content, please make sure you like and subscribe.
We've got
Plenty more on the way, and your support for this channel means the world to us. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you down the road.